Hey guys, comic fans and Phantom fans. I wanted to bring you another review in the Phantom Generations book series. Today I will be showing you the Phantom Generations issue 3, The Caves of the Naga, story by Mel Odom and art by Michael Stribling. This is the story of the third Phantom and his mission is this time to save his fiancée from a group of pirates. This book takes place during the 17th century. It starts off in 1611. The third Phantom was under the tutelage of William Shakespeare. He actually worked with him in some of his plays. He goes to rescue his beloved Rosamunda from the pirate Captain Nadir Vespera. But yeah, starts about talking with him in London for a little bit. He goes to see her ship. It's been lost at sea and been attacked by pirates. He recounts how he had to leave her in London because his father had passed away. He died in 1609. So the new Phantom has to answer the call. He talks about here through a battle sequence as he fights to try and find her and tries to kill as he wounds, because the Phantom never kills. I have to say, I like the art style on this one. It's certainly different compared to the first two issues. And he goes back and forth about what happened with the pirates here on the port. He goes to rescue some of the cargo, and he asks about Rosamunda. He asked her about because she came here on the ship, the Grayson's Flyer. It was out here. He asked one of the portsmen, did no one reach shore? He asked him, no. But they took all the women and they killed the men. She fought the pirates like a wildcat, but she's alive. And they are going to sell her into a slave market. Apparently, the third Phantom has a bit of a short fuse and a temper. But then again, at the time, he's also missing his fiancée, so he's kind of justified in it a little bit. So he goes to pay for a ship to take passage and cargo and some of his best warriors, and they go to find her. And they find out the island that the pirates are in, and it also goes into some information about Vespera. We get a little bit of his backstory. Rents a ship, crew, describes the journey. Most of these entries take place on the 15th, on the 16th, 17th, 19th, so everything takes place in a short span of time. Of course, there's the 25th and 26th. It takes him a while to get to the island. The Phantom disguises himself so that he can move freely throughout the town. He basically gets a dirty coat to put over his suit, gets himself a cap, and dirties up his face to hide his mask. He confronts a pirate with information on where his fiancée is being held captive. He resolves the piteous voices clamored for help from windows of some of the weathered buildings. This is a place of sin and sorrow, of pain and evil passions. I resolved that rescuing my dearest Rosamunda would not be the only task I set for myself. I would burn this pirate town to the ground once I'd set her free. In order to get information, he interrogates this man here. Alonzo is his name. I took him as a guide to guide us through to find her. He leads him to a cave where she's been stashed. The cave is Elephanta. These are where snake gods and goddesses are worshipped by that were once worshipped by the Indians and tribals that once inhabited the island. And it's here that he first hears his partner's voice. "You can tell them, can't you, Captain?" she asks in a low voice. "Surely you can. The restless spirits of those who died here surround us." So she's a bit omniscient, but she's also an actress as well. So she's sort of just playing it up for the crowd while the Phantom and his warriors bide time to go rescue her. There's some dialogue that goes back and forth about them wanting to kill her. The Captain Vespera stays his hand, or else he will kill the pirate. He talks about how he sees her and it makes him happy. How he sees her and his heart races and pounds, and that he's truly in love with her. Despite her predicament, Rosamunda sat as though in control of all around her. Will Shakespeare constantly reminded us that an actor's first stage is his body. If he cannot sell his character, no stage dressing can benefit him. Will learned this because he started on bare-bones stages and gave actors the best lines and motivations he could. Rosamunda was acting for her life. "Why?" she said. "Are you afraid? Perhaps you sense them as I do. You may have a touch of second sight yourself." So again, either she's omniscient or she's just stalling for time. Probably a bit of both. And Vespera basically talks to her, and he basically catches the Phantom's ire. He said, after she says, "Yet, Captain Vespera, I believe you won't bat an eye when you sell me in the slave market." That smile of his did return, and I rose from the darkness. And Rosamunda basically knows he's there, so she acts out a scene to get them all away from her. Because it said later she told me that she had seen me, that she had never lost hope that I would be there, and when she saw me, my beloved also knew what caused my hesitation. That's because they're basically all gathered around her to try and basically keep her stay put. So she basically acts out, because a lot of these pirates are also superstitious because of the caves and what went on in here. So she basically starts acting. "The Naga are here." She lurched and swayed around like a snake. "The Naga are within me. They're coming for you." And basically even he had moved back enough with her. And then that's when the Bengal warriors marched on them, and they basically killed all his men. And then he, finding out what this is all about, takes Rosamunda captive. And then that's when the Phantom shows himself to the captain. He said, "Phantom," he growled, "you're far from home. I came to bury you." And then Vespera shoots the Phantom in the side, breaking one of his ribs. And at this point in time, he also has Rosamunda captive. And Rosamunda basically elbows him in his nose with her arm. He lets her go, and they have a massive sword fight. He basically says out loud that I have to take him out myself, otherwise Rosamunda will shoot him, and I don't want blood on her hands. And he eventually befalls him. They reunite. They talk. He tells her how brave she was. And like, "When I saw you, I knew that a distraction had to be made. How else can an audience be made to miss changes taking place on stage?" He said, "I don't mean just that, though I will admit that was a truly inspiring performance." "A desperate performance, you mean?" "I couldn't believe she was brave enough to smile after everything she'd been through." "No," I said. "I mean that you've been brave through this whole thing." And she's like, "Oh, trust me, I knew you'd come. There was never a doubt. Besides, you promised to take me as your wife, and I mean to see you honor that. I'm not afraid to handle myself, though it now occurs to me that any bragging, especially about these qualities, is not very ladylike." And before he can respond to anything, she was hoping he would respond to something, he basically kissed her and they left. I actually really enjoyed this story. I've actually liked this whole book series so far. There hasn't been one bad issue about it. Again, different writer and art team on each book. So, yeah. It's almost like they use photos and people standing in for dressing up as the characters and basically colored in photos. So I like the style of artwork that Michael did. But anyway, that's that for this issue. I hope you guys like this little look here. I look forward to covering issue 4 and the subsequent books later on. And until then, I will see you guys next time with another video. Do all those normal YouTube things. Click that like if you enjoyed it. Comment below your favorite Phantom if you have one. Or if you've read this series, let me know your thoughts. And until then, I will see you guys next time with another video. Take care. Have a good rest of your day, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're at time zone-wise or where you are in the world. And peace.